Hello, thank you all for joining us today. My name is Iris Early and I'm the Director of Recruitment and Admissions at LEDA. And this session will serve as an orientation to the LEDA Scholars program. We will be discussing the Summer Institute at Princeton, the LEDA Scholars community and their accomplishments, and our application and admissions process. You are welcome to ask questions throughout the presentation using the Q&A app. We will answer some questions during the presentation, and there will be additional time to answer questions at the end of the presentation. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible, but if your question is not answered, be sure to contact LEDA after the presentation. I would now like to invite my team, my wonderful team, to introduce themselves.
Hey everyone, my name is Viviana Cordero and I am the Community Outreach Officer at LEDA, and I'm so excited we're getting to do this cool hangout to talk to you more about the LEDA Scholars Program.
Hi everyone, my name is Syra Alanis and I am LEDA's Program Assistant, but I'm also a LEDA Scholar. I did the program 5 years ago. I'm originally from Los Fresnos, Texas, and I'm really excited to be here today.
Hi everyone. My name is Yusuf Nwidi. I am a cohort 11 scholar. I currently live in Orlando, Florida, and attend high school, a public high school named Freedom High School. I'm very excited to be with you all today and can't wait to answer some of your questions.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay.
So Leadership Enterprise for a Diverse America, also known as LEDA, is a national not-for-profit organization dedicated to identifying and developing the academic and leadership potential of exceptional public high school students from across the country. Our goal is to equalize educational opportunity by helping our scholars gain admission to and succeed at selective academic institutions. So the LEDA Scholars Program begins with the free 7-week Summer Institute at Princeton. So all travel and living costs are covered for scholars. And while at Princeton, scholars get a chance to experience college life. So they live in a real Princeton dorm, they get a meal card, they get to eat in the cafeterias and cafes around campus, and have access to the university's pool and gym on the weekends. And the residential experience is really special because it allows for students to build meaningful relationships with their peers, develop their time management skills, and to get a real sense of what it will feel like to leave home their senior year and to live on a college campus. So throughout the summer, scholars participate in the Aspects of Leadership course. So this curriculum explores some of the toughest ethical and policy issues we face in the 21st century. And it really challenges the scholars to think critically and to learn to articulate what they believe and how they believe it. So it's a really dynamic environment, and the classes are really small. So they participate in team building activities, case studies, role play simulations, debates, and scholar presentations. And our goal is to really prepare our scholars to be confident and successful students and leaders in their communities, at home, and college, and beyond. So they also will participate in a writing curriculum throughout their time during the summer. So the writing curriculum helps prepare scholars for college-level writing and also guides them through the process of writing their personal statements for the college application. So scholars will participate in regular writing courses as well as have a one-on-one writing meeting each week with their writing instructor. And all of our writing instructors are either current or former faculty at selective colleges and universities, so they're especially equipped to help prepare our scholars for college writing. And then what's most special is that these writing instructors will continue to work with our scholars throughout their senior year on all of their college and scholarship essays. The next part of the summer is SAT and ACT preparation. So scholars receive SAT and ACT tutoring and will take 5 full-length practice exams throughout the summer. So this really gives them a chance to practice the tools that they're learning in tutoring and, you know, really become comfortable and confident taking those exams. The last part of the summer is college guidance. So LEDA Scholars will participate in college guidance workshops where they learn about college research, the college application, admissions, financial aid, and scholarships. And they'll also have one-on-one meetings with college guidance counselors. So in these individual meetings, they'll get a chance to explore their interests, talk about their strengths, discuss, you know, what colleges are available to them, and start to develop a list of schools that they want to apply to. So in order to help them make these decisions, we go on college visits. Last year we went to Philadelphia to visit UPenn and Swarthmore, to Washington, D.C. to visit Johns Hopkins and Georgetown, to Connecticut to visit Yale and Wesleyan, and to New York to visit Columbia and Barnard. So we really want to expose them to different types of colleges and give them a chance to see these campuses, talk to students, and meet admissions officers. And so now Viv, our community outreach officer, is going to talk to you about life after the summer.
Okay, and so Iris was just talking about college guidance, and that definitely begins as a really big part of what happens in the summertime at Princeton, but it continues on to your senior year in high school. The support happens all throughout the senior year, and scholars get to have regular meetings with their counselor, who will, for example, help them finalize their college list. They'll be tracking the application process. They'll be writing a personalized letter of recommendation. So that kind of continues on until you maybe even start getting your acceptance letters. And so what happens then is the conversation with financial aid, right? You're also applying to scholarship opportunities, and the counselor, as well as your writing instructor, is also supporting you throughout that process. And then what happens when you are admitted to a school and you've matriculated and you're now on that campus, you start to work with our college success team, and that's a little bit of everything, right? We want to not only help you get into college, but also really do well and be successful while you're there. So there's that includes academic and career advising. So maybe that means you know, how to get an internship or how to get a summer job. There's also our new initiative that is where scholars are matched up with a peer mentor to kind of help you navigate maybe campus resources. Then there's also being part of community events and networking, because that's also a huge part of being successful. Okay, let's see. And Syra can talk a little bit about who our LEDA Scholars are.
All right, so thanks to our wonderful recruitment team, we've gotten applications from 46 states, including the District of Columbia, which is really exciting. To us, it's really important that LEDA scholars come from all over the country. This last summer, we had scholars from Alaska, from states like Montana and South Dakota, which is really cool. The reason that we like to do that is so that they get to learn from each other. We want people from diverse backgrounds, and that really enriches the cohort. It exposes them to different perspectives and life experiences, which allows them to learn from one another and grow as individuals. And thanks to our rigorous college guidance process, we're also really excited to announce some of our admission statistics from this last year. 100% of LEDA Cohort 10 got admitted to at least one most competitive college or university, which is incredible, and 46% were admitted to at least one Ivy League school or Stanford. And also, as we talked about, part of the summer includes doing scholarship research and such, and we were really excited when we saw that we got $3.5 million in financial aid and scholarships, and which is really great because obviously that's a really important part of of the college admissions process for our scholars. And finally, like we also said, LEDA doesn't end once you are admitted to the university. We make sure to see how our scholars are doing in college, and we're very fortunate to say that scholars are succeeding. Scholars go into college, they continue to do really amazing things. They become leaders on their campuses. They really put a lot of effort into their academics and even beyond. We have scholars that join organizations like Google, Amazon, and Teach for America. And now Viv is going to talk about our admissions and application process.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Syra. So a little bit about the application. Who we look for, right? Juniors, because the Summer Institute happens in the summertime between junior and senior year. So right now we're looking to recruit juniors in public high schools across the country. Right? We also want them to be top of their class. And so what does that mean? That means that they're really challenging themselves, or you're really challenging yourselves to take challenging courses. You should be highly motivated, involved in an extracurricular, in a sport, maybe if you have a job. These are some of the things that we want you to write about and to include in your application. Okay, and so how to apply. This is a screenshot of what you'll see when you log on to the application, the registration page. You can access it via two different website addresses, and you can even jot this down, but we also have it available when we're done with the webinar. It's the leda.fluidreview.com address, or through our website, which is www.ledascholars.org. And again, both of them will take you to the same page where you can register to start your application. A little bit about the tasks. There are a few different tasks, and just to kind of go down, the first part, which is what applicants are filling out right now, includes information about high school. You are required to include a counselor email address and a teacher email address so that both of those people can write you a recommendation, and those look a little different, but they're essentially recommendations. There is a section for you to include your extracurricular activities and awards. There are two smart essay prompts, and that's where you kind of get to be creative, and we got to learn more about you. You should be uploading a recent photo and some family information as well. It consists of essentially three interviews. So the first one is where we review the first part of the application that I just spoke about. Then the second part, you'll be uploading updated information, so an updated transcript, updated financial information for family. And then the third one is potentially an interview, so either via Skype or phone. And so important, please don't forget this. The final deadline is December 11th, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please continue to work on your applications if you've already started. If not, we encourage you to go ahead and log on and register to start your application, and also check in with your counselor and your teacher to make sure that they received those links for your recommendations. If you get to finish beforehand, don't worry about it. You can definitely submit it. I know we've gotten some questions about that before, so feel free to submit it if you're all set and all done. Here's a little bit, some of our contact information, but for school counselors, if they'd like to reach out to Philip Scotton, he's a school outreach officer. His email address is philipscotton@ledascholars.org, and for CBOs, it would be me. I'm the community outreach officer, and my email address is here, vivianacordero@ledascholars.org. So thank you so much for joining. We hope this was a kind of a glimpse into what LEDA Scholars program is, the Summer Institute, a little bit about our current scholars who are on different campuses, and the application as well. And we're super excited because we have both Syra and Yusuf who are LEDA Scholars, and we can do a little Q&A there.
Thanks so much, Viv.
Yeah.
And so Yusuf is part of our cohort 11, our most recent cohort of LEDA Scholars. So Yusuf, I would love it if you could share a little bit about your experience during the summer.
Sounds good. Thank you, Iris. So this summer, I must admit, was hands down the best summer I've had thus far. Best decision I've made was to apply for LEDA. So I recommend all of you who are very interested to continue pushing with your applications and make sure you get it before the December 11th deadline. But as for my experience this past summer, one thing that I want to highlight is the residential life experience. Living on Princeton's campus for 7 weeks definitely is something different. I don't want to say it's bad. It's definitely something different. If you haven't been away from your parents or been away from home for an extended period of time, it's definitely eye-opening. So that was a really good experience for myself. I enjoyed making, I can't even call them friends. I have to say like they're family now, because living with them for 7 weeks and going to class with them and eating with them and just building that strong community with 99 other scholars was a really like an amazing experience, I must admit. I still stay in contact with the whole cohort. We have like a Facebook page. We're very tight. This senior year is definitely stressful. However, the LEDA support is definitely helping me get through it. But as for the summer, another thing that was very exciting was the college visits that Iris mentioned earlier. Visiting, for example, UPenn and Columbia and Swarthmore and Wesleyan and some of the other schools. That was definitely a very fun experience, being able to visit schools. Other than that, I also want to mention the aspects class. So earlier you heard about the leadership development, and how that manifests itself during the 7 weeks is through a class called Aspects of Leadership. And Aspects of Leadership, you get assigned to different, they're not called teachers, they're called facilitators, because it is a discussion in the classroom, and it really isn't bounded by any set or strict curriculum. It's basically tackling issues at a broad scope and being able to answer questions and discuss with your classmates on things that pique your interest, and being able to dive into them more deeply through structured debates and role plays and case studies, as you heard earlier. And that definitely was the best classroom experience that I've been a part of thus far. And I think it's something very valuable that a lot of the LEDA scholars have been able to take apart and away from the summer experience. And it's something that I will never forget. Other than that I think does a really good job of summarizing my summer experience. And if anyone has any other questions about LEDA in general, feel free to ask them through the question and answer app on the Google Hangouts, and the whole team would be more than happy to help answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yusuf. So Erica asked if everything, including the airplane ticket, was paid for. And the answer to that question is yes. So we pay for your plane ticket, we pay for 1 piece of checked luggage, and then everything that you need during the summer will be provided. So the only thing that scholars will sometimes bring money for is if you want, extra spending cash to buy a souvenir, or, if you're wanting to go into town and buy something, but everything that you need will be provided for. And so are there any additional questions that we can answer while the Hangout is going on? Okay. Yeah, Yusuf, did you want to talk a little, did you have something else you wanted to add?
Sure. So for the summer experience itself, first I'll start off with LEDA. At first, on the website, it may sound a little bit too good to be true, but I do want to say one thing. It's a real thing. LEDA is 100% legit, but I highly recommend it to all of you who were already able to learn a little bit about it, maybe even start your applications. Um, I know you guys are already highly motivated juniors in school and maybe a couple sophomores, depending on who you are, but nonetheless very motivated individuals in school, and you really want to succeed in your post-secondary education, and that motivation is definitely well appreciated by the LEDA staff. So please make sure you put 100% effort into your applications. Um, Going a little bit about the summer experience, one thing I want to mention is the fact that you have a little bit of freedom. Iris mentioned bringing maybe a little bit of pocket money if you're interested in going into the city to maybe go out for a special dinner, or you wanted to grab a souvenir like a Princeton sweater or hoodie, or buy something from any of the bookstores of the colleges that we visit. The one aspect of the summer that was definitely new to me was a lot more responsibility and freedom that I had to take up on my part. For example, during the day you'll have classes, and after class you'll have maybe a meeting or something scheduled for the afternoon. But in the afternoon, most of your time is free, left for you to complete the readings for aspects class, or do practice for the ACT, SAT prep. No matter what that may be, it is really left up to you to become more mature in handling your time and things of that nature. But it's definitely a very good experience to prepare you for the college experience, because a lot of high school students don't feel that high school prepares them enough for college, and I think LEDA does a very good job of assisting with that transition. So with that, I see a couple more questions coming in, so I'll give it back to Iris to see which ones we can answer.
Okay. Yeah, so we have some application questions, and one of them is, should I, submit only awards and clubs in high school or before as well? So, it really depends on you. We want to learn about the activities that are most important to you. So if there's an award that you won prior to high school that you think is really important for us to know about, you can include it. For the clubs and activities, we are only interested in high school activities, but that being said, if there's something out of high school you've been doing before high school and through high school, you can include that as well. Another question, which maybe Syra, you can answer, is, do LEDA Scholars have enough time to practice musical instruments during the summer? And Syra, was not only a LEDA Scholar, but she was also worked with us during the summer as an RA and a college coordinator. So she can talk to you a little bit about, time management during the summer. And go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say, as Yusuf kind of mentioned earlier, time management definitely is a huge factor of the Summer Institute. A lot of times scholars learn that time management is important. That being said, yes, there definitely, if you manage your time correctly, you definitely would have time to practice a musical instrument. I mean, I know Yusuf and everyone can probably corroborate this, but throughout the summer, there was always someone playing the piano pretty much at all times that we were in the building, which was really awesome. And that's also a really great way to kind of relieve stress. It's also a good way, I mean, something to learn also when you're in college. So yeah, I would say there's definitely time for anything as long as you learn how to manage your time, which it might be a little bit more difficult at first, but once you start getting used to it and getting into the rhythm of things, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay, great. And So another question asking if LEDA staff will meet scholars before coming to the summer program, and if there will be an adult on the plane ride with them, and how the transportation works. So, yeah, Yusuf, you want to answer that one?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay.
So the question says, do you guys meet those who are accepted before the summer? And will there be an adult accompanying you on the plane ride? And how does the transportation overall work for students getting to Princeton? So at first I was a bit confused on how that worked as well. However, going through the experience myself, I can definitely vouch for you for it. So meeting LEDA scholars prior to the summer isn't something that really happens until you arrive on Princeton's campus. However, a lot of us that were accepted were able to find each other on Facebook, and there was a group chat that was started, so we were able to interact with one another prior to the summer to get to know each other a little bit and exchange a little bit about ourselves prior to meeting in the summer. As for the adult on the plane ride, depending on how far you live from Princeton, New Jersey, you'd either have to take a plane or a bus, or you might get driven to the campus. But for those taking a plane ride, like myself, living in Orlando, Florida, I had a couple other scholars in the Florida area who I was able to ride with, kind of like a buddy system, and we rode the same plane together because we were wearing our LEDA shirts. I don't know if you guys can see, but we have bright orange LEDA shirts. Don't worry, you'll get to like the color orange once you're a LEDA scholar.
Yeah, so for many of our scholars, it will be their first time on a plane, and it can be a little scary. So there won't be a LEDA staff member on the plane with you, but we will buy your plane ticket, we'll send you all the information about your flight, and like Yusuf said, we'll have you wearing those bright orange shirts so you're easy to find in the airport. And then we will meet you as soon as you're off the plane in the airport and take you to Princeton. But yeah, every year there are scholars who it's their first time getting on a plane, and it's great if you have other scholars in the area. We will, do our best to get you on the same flight, which is the nicest way to travel, so you can meet some new friends. And so the next question is about the application process. How do the different parts work? How do you pass from one round to the next? So in part one, the application is open now and anyone is welcome to apply. And once you've completed part one, we will review all parts of your application. So we review every application. We have a holistic reading process. And we will meet, we'll read your applications, meet in committee, and then if you are, then a decision will be made on whether you'll pass on from round one to round two. So the strongest applicants from round one will pass to round two. And then in round two, we're basically just asking for supplemental information. So we ask for an updated transcript, like Viviana shared earlier, your family's tax return, and proof of citizenship. And then we will use that information paired with the first round evaluation, and then the strongest applicants will be moved on to the third round, which is an interview. And so I know the interview can seem like sort of a scary thing, but it shouldn't be. It will be with one of us here, and we're really just trying to get to know you and learn more about you, and really make sure that this is an opportunity you are excited about and wanting to take advantage of. So that is how the application process works. Syra, how does laundry work during the summer?
I can also definitely answer that question because I was also an RA. So the way that laundry works, there is laundry in the building, in the basement of the building, and so it's not difficult at all. We have a schedule. Boys do laundry one day. I think it's a couple of days a week, and the girls do laundry 2 separate other days of the week. And so you have a free range of time. You can do it at any time that you're not in class. And if you don't know how to do laundry, there's also RAs and pretty much any staff member that's around. You can just ask them to help you. LEDA also pays for laundry detergent and dryer sheets, so you don't have to worry about buying those. So it's a pretty simple and easy process, and it shouldn't be too painful.
Okay, great. And Yusuf, we have a specific question for you. Can you talk a little bit about how college guidance has worked during your senior year so far?
Will do. So thus far, for a senior year, college guidance has been immensely helpful. Some of the way that their help comes to me is through scheduled meetings where I'll have like a phone call meeting or a Skype or Google Hangouts meeting with my college guidance counselor that I met over the summer, and we'll talk about whether that be my college list. We'll talk about testing during senior year, whether you're taking the ACT, SAT, or subject tests. They'll also talk about how the writing is coming along. So college essay writing is definitely a big part of senior year. And another way that college guidance is able to help, as well as the writing instructors that you met over the summer, is that you write your supplemental essays and your personal statement, and you send them for revisions, and you're able to get feedback, continual feedback and support on that. And then they also support in letting you know of any scholarship opportunities available and let you know how to apply to those. And overall, just making sure that the schools that you're applying to, that you're getting all the components complete in time. And then during the second semester of senior year, college guidance will be mostly once you start to receive your acceptances, which is an exciting time for LEDA Scholars. You will also receive support with the acceptances and financial aid. But one thing for semester one that I forgot to mention was fly-in opportunities. So specific colleges might have different programs that you can apply into to visit colleges during your senior year for a weekend or so, and your college guidance counselors and assistants will help notify you of those opportunities to see if you'd be interested in them and applying to them. But overall, college guidance is very helpful, and they're here to support you in however you need that support.
Okay, and thank you so much, Yusuf. And another question about program dates. So the specific dates haven't been selected for this summer yet, but typically they go from about the third week. It goes from the third week in June until the first week in August. And so another question for Syra and Yusuf. Syra, if you want to start, what are your tips for the essays, and what did you write about, and what's your advice for, writing your LEDA essays?
Okay, so I think my biggest advice is don't worry too much about making it sound too serious. We want to know who you are. We want to know who you are as a person. Tell us your story. Tell us what makes you tick. Give us a good picture of who you are as a human. I think that, as Viv said, this is where you get creative. So use the space to show what the numbers don't tell us, to show what your extracurricular lists don't tell us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Syra hit most of the major points. One thing I'd emphasize is make sure that it's your voice and it's speaking about who you are. Like as if you were having a conversation with someone. Like someone was to read your essay, they'd know it was you speaking. And as for what to write about, just like Syra said, make sure you write about what you're passionate about, or tell your story, or just like all the other application parts are there to tell something about you, whether that be the testing, or whether that be your transcript or the recommendations. But the essay is really the part of the application where you're allowed to not let numbers define you, and it's really a chance for you to really break through your shell and really let someone through retrospect get to know who you are.
Thank you guys so much. And there are a few other questions about the application. So one is, you know, does it look bad if you haven't received awards? And when I want to go back to the holistic reading process, because we are looking at so many different aspects when it comes to your LEDA application. So we're looking at your academics, so your grades and what classes you've taken. We're looking at where you're from. We're looking at what you write about, what you're passionate about, what you're involved in. And there are so many different factors that we consider that really don't let one piece stop you from completing the application if you feel like this is something that you're excited about and want to be a part of. So really, that would be my advice, that, you know, it doesn't look bad, and really we're taking all these different factors into account. So don't let one thing, you know, stop you from completing the application. And again, with the SAT and ACT and PSAT score, I was just asked if you need a specific score, and I sort of have the same answer for that. We spend a lot of time doing SAT and ACT tutoring during the summer, so we are, you know, we want to help support you and help you get that score to somewhere where it's not going to keep you from a school that you want to attend. So don't let that stop you. We do consider your standardized test scores, especially in the second round. But there isn't one score that you have to have in order to be admitted to the program. Okay. I'll answer one more question. There is an income question. So there is no specific number that you have to hit in order to qualify for our program. 90% of our families make under $66,000 a year. But that being said, you know, each year about 10 to 15% of our applicants will make between $65,000 and $85,000 a year. Above that, it becomes increasingly difficult for you to be admitted to the program. But again, we take into account family size and cost of living where you're from. So if you have specific questions about your family's income, you should reach out to us individually. And another application question. Viv, I don't know if you want to explain the writing sample, because I know that's something that can be a little complicated for applicants.
Yeah, so for the writing sample, I actually just got a question via email too about this. We want to see something that has been graded, hopefully has been graded. If you don't have something like this, then definitely reach out to us to talk to us about it. But it shouldn't be a poem, or it shouldn't be like a chemistry lab report, but we kind of want to see something that is an essay format. So the paragraphs, we want to look at maybe the structure, some of your writing that you've done, and it's probably even better to do something that you're working on this year in junior year. If you don't have something for junior year, definitely then sophomore year is okay, but we kind of want to get an idea of where you are with writing, because also that's something, as Iris was talking about, the testing as well. You get to work a lot with your writing instructor during the summertime to strengthen writing skills as well.
Great, thanks, Viv. And, you know, final question, we were asked how many scholars we admit each year. So we admit 100 scholars from across the country, and we really hope that some of you will apply to the program and join the ranks of Yusuf and Saira, and maybe join us on our next Google Hangouts. But we're so sorry if we didn't get to your questions. Please reach out to us in the contact information that we listed earlier. You can also find contact information on the website at ledascholars.org, and you can access the application anytime by going to leda.fluidreview.com. I want to thank our team here, Viviana, Syra, and Yusuf, and our silent helper, Philip, for helping us with this Google Hangout. And we're so excited to work with you this upcoming recruitment season. So thank you all for being here.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.